What up, what up, what up? It's time once again for whatever we're gonna call it. I still need some ideas for what we're gonna call this show. But last week or yesterday, actually, we talked about home training versus hood. And this morning, I think we're gonna talk about choices. And so, like, all kind of through, I guess, my life, I've made very, very good choices and very, very bad choices. And every single choice that I've made has had some kind of repercussion. I'll give you, for instance. So when I was 22, I got married and completely screwed that whole entire marriage up. And that was a choice. I made the choice to cheat. I made the choice to not be there when I was supposed to be. I made the choice not to take care of business. All of those choices. And I think I say this a lot to a lot of people. As you get older, you figure out that a lot of the choices that you made 10 years ago, unless you admit that you've made those choices and do something to rectify those choices, the repercussions of those choices, you're still you're still living with those. Now, I could tell you a lot of choices that people have made tend to continue to perpetuate how they live their lives, and how sometimes they live their lives is whatever. They blame other people for their choices. They blame other people for the repercussions of those choices, when in fact everything to me in life is about choices. Whether to go left, whether to go right, whether you should have eggs or toast in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But the bigger choices are those ones that you make. So choices with kids. And I'm not here to tell anybody how to raise the kids, because Lord knows I'm still learning as I go. Like they always say, there's not a manual for those things. But I think some of the choices that I've made with the kids have been good and have been bad. My oldest daughter, Alicia, has a daughter already. Hey, Junie, it's my grandbaby, who I'm hoping to see here pretty soon. She's 2 years old, and I want to say that, you know, as much as we talk about those choices, you know, this sounds bad, but she's going to be living with the choice that she made for a very long time, and dealing with all of the tentacles that kind of come out past making that one choice, right? So I made the choice a long time ago to get a divorce. Now, whether that choice was right or wrong, I couldn't tell you, but it was the right choice for me, right? A lot of people didn't understand why I did it. After 13 years of being married, I decided to call it a day. So there was a lot of repercussions and harder choices that I had to make. But I think making those choices moving forward, after about a year, I got remarried, and I've made very good choices past that. Now, getting back to the kids. So Alicia and Andrea made the choice when they were old enough to make those said choices to stay with their mom. My son made the choice to come to stay with me and Katie. And as a result of those choices, you can see which of those choices were good. If anybody reads my Facebook feed, they can see that there are very good choices that Christopher made. And look, Christopher's still 15. He makes a lot of bad choices, let me tell you. But I think ultimately he understands that the environment that he lives in now is a better environment than the one that he came from. And look, I always tell people all the time, you could be the greatest dad and the greatest mom of all time. That doesn't make you a good parent. You know what I'm saying? I just dropped my phone. It's all good. That doesn't make you a better parent. It makes you know that you love your kids and you would do anything for them. But are you willing to make the sacrifices for those kids in order and make the choices for those kids that are going to have lasting effects on them past the time that you are taking care of them? And a lot of times parents can be, moms and dads can be very selfish and only care about how they feel about something that's going on, when in fact how the kids feel does play a part into it. I used to hear this all the time, and people would say, well, as long as you're in my house, you're going to live by my rules. Now, that's true to a certain extent, but I don't think you're going to get any kind of mileage out of kids if you kind of live that way. So my wife just is bringing me some food. Thank you, sweetie. So, a lot of choices that people make tend to reverberate for years and years past the time that they've made those choices. So parenting is basically a bunch of choices that people make, and whether they're good or bad is kind of how well the child succeeds or how bad they fail. Now, there are some exceptions. I'm sure people that had, murderous kids, and had two kids that lived in the same house, one became this and the other one became that. I think that's mental health rather than parenting. That's just my opinion, and I'm not an expert, but, I do have some people that I know that are experts on this, my wife being one of those. Choices that parents make always are going to try to be, I would say, make the choices that are going to be best for the kid and that are going to make the kid's life better down the road. So those processes, so whether or not they should get an athletic scholarship versus an academic scholarship. Now, I will say that all three of my kids have the ability to get academic scholarships. Not all three of them have the ability to get, God, I can't think of the word. They can't get sports scholarships. Sorry. They couldn't get sports scholarships. Not all of them could. Some of them could. Matthew ran track yesterday. Matthew is seemingly to excel in track, where Christopher is starting to excel in wrestling, and Lydia's starting to, learn basketball. But all three of those kids are extremely smart. So the choice that I made is to tell them that an academic scholarship is one that they could never take away, that's based upon your own choices that you make as far as doing the work and making sure that you do all the work possible and keeping that grade point average up. You can keep that one. A sports scholarship is more it's much more where you could lose your knee, you could break your arm and not be able to play again, concussion and la. So there's a lot of that goes on. So I think choices in the environment that these kids are living in now are environments in which we really perpetuate the academic side of them if they excel in it. Now, even if they did not excel in it, we would find some others, because look, like I said in my first one, school is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? School is not for everybody. But for these three kids, I think they can actually benefit from school. So I hope the choices that me and Katie make as parents are going to get them there. And then there's choices with, keeping friendship. There's a guy that I've known for years that I have not kept in contact with. And, probably when he gets up, in the next couple of hours, I'm probably going to call him and really have a conversation with him, because I hadn't seen him since he left from Texas, almost 10-something years ago. He has no idea that I've got a divorce and gained 2 more kids or anything like that. And those are choices that I made as a friend, and I just wasn't really being a great friend. Those are just bad choices. So what I would say is, you know, if you have friends that you want to keep in contact with, you know, just touch base with them every now and again. You ain't got to talk to them every day, but so that you don't feel like a stranger when you talk back to them. And I don't think me calling my boy is going to cause us, you know, to be strangers, but he's gotten married, he's had a kid. I mean, he's got all of these experiences that I've already had, and that's stuff that we could talk about, you know what I mean? And we just hadn't got a chance to do it. So like I said, you know, choices are choices. And I think if you make the correct choices, they can have a lasting effect on your life. So this was a quick one. I'm about to eat my breakfast. And that was People Get Ready by The Impressions, led by the incomparable and late Curtis Mayfield. Having a good time this morning. I'm off for the weekend. I'm probably not going to have any other weekends off. Just a shout out to Mr. Robert Fagg out there. Regular alum was cracking. Share this video. Share the many other videos that I'm going to probably do here in the next. Trying to get a talk show going down. Try to get some kind of deal, something, and they'll get better as I continue on. So next topic, I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what this thing is called. I'm just showing up, show out, and we're gonna keep doing it like this. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. It's Sunday, so you know what that means. Go Broncos, go Denver Broncos. We in Miami. Let's beat down these Miami Dolphins. Let's get a win up in here. Pretty pleased. So hopefully we can do that. And after that, I think I got to go to the mall and get some knee pads for my son for wrestling. But other than that, y'all have a fabulous and blessed day. And like my dad used to say, keep on keeping on.